All right, hello league, hello Premier, and league fans. I guess last time I said hello Premier, and Pop gave me a lot of shit for that because it's not only people in Premier listening. Don't really know how many views the last one got, but I appreciate everyone who's listening, friends, family, Gabe. So we, I am joined today. This is Mason talking. I'm joined today by Pop and Prod, two dojo members. Two dojo members. We've been scrimmaging a lot, and we're going to come at you with our first impressions of the game, or I guess 20th impressions of the game at this point. But let's get into it. So first off, we're going to talk about offense. Pride, you can go first. What are your thoughts on offense this year? Running, passing, blocking?
Well, I'm still a little on the fence about the blocking at times. At times, it seems like perfect, and then other times, it's like, what the hell is going on? Like, say, in the run game, it's a little bit harder to get to the edge. So some like that, some don't. Right now, I'm going to say most don't. I'm starting to get a little more used to it. Passing, especially compared to last year, you have to say it's better. It's a lot, for those who like to throw the ball, this is definitely the game for that. I got talked down a little bit because I was having a moment a couple days ago about the offense, but I'm getting the hang of it now. So
I have a question for you, Prod.
yeah.
So you saying that the running is different. Sometimes you can get to the outside, sometimes you can't. Do you see is the difference when you play competitive mode and sim mode, or is it the same in each mode?
So far, I've only played sim except for one all-pro game that I jumped into, and that was just a disaster. Don't ever play on all-pro. But as far as the playing the sim, yeah, I mean, there's never really been that big of a difference even last year between competitive and sim to me. I think competitive last year,
I
I
disagree.
think it was just less penalties called in competitive, and also they would hang on to more passes in competitive mode, less drops. But as far as the game, because I was in a league, I didn't even know it was on competitive until they said something. And I was like, oh, really? I didn't even have a clue. So I think it's just, at least from what I noticed, the last couple of Maddens just seems to be like probably penalties and drops, and like maybe there's more fumbles on sim. But I don't know, not a huge difference. I still prefer sim though.
Pop, you go first before I just.
So, to piggyback off of some of the things you said, I feel like the reason why I don't know what teams you were playing with, but I feel like the reason why it feels that way with the running is because of the new subgroups they have. So it's not just run block anymore. That person might be a good finesse blocker, and another person might be a good power blocker. So if he's a good power blocker, that's why he's not able to get out there to get to that edge. So that's how it's like they're going to help you, force you to build up the line so that you could play both, or you're going to have to pick one. And that's the way you run the ball. So I think that's probably what it is a little bit. We're used to it just being, if this person's run block is this amount, then he's good outside and inside. And they change that up to make it a little more realistic where, if your guard isn't, if he don't have good finesse, he's not going to be able to pull and get out there and get to that corner. But my impressions is I like the game. It's definitely more fun than last year. It doesn't feel like a grind, even when it is a grind. Like when I play Mason, he Mason he's real surgical. He's gonna eventually take a deep shot, but the dinking and dunking and all of that last year felt like, I don't know, it just felt annoying, and this year it doesn't feel annoying to me. The running is really good. It's like I told y'all last week. Don't think Juan won't be able to run, because you can still run in this game. It's just not a take it to the house type of run. The passing is a lot better. The movement is a lot realistic on offense. can't hold turbo from the beginning, which I think everybody know by now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll pass it to you, Mason.
A couple of things. One, sim mode and competitive mode last year were completely different.
Completely different.
I think the only reason you thought that is because you never threw the ball. It has to be.
Mm-hmm. You could throw the ball in comp mode last year.
In comp mode, I was throwing for 300. I remember because we were scrimmaging. I was playing against Juan, and we were throwing for 300 against each other. Then you went to sim mode, and they were like, no, zones are everywhere. There will be none of that. This year, it's not as big of a difference. I think the bigger difference actually in sim and comp mode probably comes with the line play. And it's like individual players on sim mode make much more of an impact. For instance, I was just randomly playing with the Vikings on sim mode, and Kendricks was everywhere. I wasn't even using him. He was just doing – I forget who I was even playing. He was just doing everything. And I was like, I was like, Kendricks is really everywhere on this play. I was playing Matt, and he was Luke Kuechly. Kuechly was just doing everything. And he wasn't even using him. So I think the individual players – and I like that a lot more about this is that sim mode kind of – you can see the difference with talent. As far as offense is concerned, passing wise, you're right. It doesn't feel as annoying when people are doing because it feels more like it's planned. You can't just call the same play and have it work all the time because there's an adjustment to everything. So you kind of have to see what the defense is giving you and take it rather than just using the same throw, the same throw, the same throw, or the same run all game. You can't do it because I think you can kind of adjust to all those things. And as far as running is concerned, I think I actually like it more this year. It's easier for me personally to go inside than outside, and so I'm able to like keep creases. And I just like the game more. You got firecrackers going on? What's going on over there, Pop?
Sorry.
And by the way, the one talking prod off that ledge was me. He was about done. He's like, why can't you run for 50-yard gains anymore? I was like, oh, relax.
What you mean, like?
I didn't mean like every play, but I was like, shit, like sometimes I would bust up the middle and I'm like, why is this damn defensive tackle like turning around and tackling me?
Oh,
That's the type of shit that was pissing me off. I was like, man, like, all right, I'll have like a gaping hole, right? And I'll go to shoot through it. And then,
it closes.
they close quick. And even at least the one game against Mason, until I told him, like, I was pass committing the whole game and somehow they were still closing in on his run when he would run the ball. And I was like, man, what the fuck is going on? But I mean, it's not as bad now. You know, I'm getting used to it.
I was using Ty Montgomery. Like, that's the point. It was, and then you try to do that again too. And then I had Dalvin Cook, and I ran for 150. So don't do that.
I mean, Montgomery, he's not, terrible. I mean, he's not an elite back, but
as a running back, he can't. He's not supposed to be able to run the ball. He's
got enough ball carrier vision, acceleration to get through holes.
Prod, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor and stop mentioning stats, please. You've played the game. You see how it feels. Montgomery, trust me, used him. Not a good running back. Don't care. His stats can be all they want to be. The game builds you a certain way. Won't happen. Won't fucking work.
I have a question for you, Prod. When did you stop playing Madden 18?
Probably like 2 weeks ago.
That's the problem. That's exactly the problem. You have to stop like at least a good month, maybe even more, because you still got that old feel. It's always a different feel, slower, faster. It always changes game to game. When you play it all the way up until the end, and then you play Madden 19 or whatever the next Madden is, you're coming off of the feel of the previous Madden. It's not going to play the same.
I feel you on that too. I can kind of get that. That makes sense. Mason's thing about Ty Montgomery not being able to run don't make sense, but that makes sense.
Ty Montgomery's never run for over 500 yards. Why? What is this? What is this infatuation with him being able to? This is like when you were like, "Oh, Stephon Diggs can beat a press defense." Yes, he can. Ask the Saints. He kind of can do it pretty well. So when you press him, he's gonna beat it. I don't
But I
care.
mean, this is a video game. Everything that's in it is based on numbers. So you say like, don't worry about the stats, but
Fuck
that's
the
what the
numbers.
game is. That's what it is numbers. That's how it works. That's why some
So
offensive
was
linemen
it
can't block
who were you
because of the
playing? Who
numbers.
was you playing against? The team.
It was Packers. I don't remember.
I think you just had Ty Montgomery, didn't you? Wasn't it like with that fantasy league, or was that in your league?
I really don't even know.
Uh,
I think I was the Packers, and I think that's why I really didn't care because I threw for 300 with Rodgers. So I was like, why is he talking about the running game? Yes, you were pass committing, but I had Aaron Rodgers. If it was the Packers, I really don't remember. I've played.
All right. I think I
My
understood.
main thing
So
was just
you're
there needs to
saying
be a
that
punishment for pass committing. It was why I was irritated in that moment. That's
you're
what that
saying
was.
that he should have ran for more.
Yeah, because I was pass committing the whole game, but every time he would run the ball, like my dudes would close and
What
shut
team
it
did
down
you
anyway.
use?
Honestly, I don't even remember what team I had.
I mean, it ain't like the
It's
Packers have
probably
the best
probably
offensive
whoever
line.
they play and whoever the Packers play in week 1 is probably who I was using.
It's not like the Packers have the best offensive line in the world, neither.
I don't know. I mean, I'm off of that anyway.
But
That was just an example I was using.
finish your thoughts, Mason. You said Comp and Sim is completely different last year, but
Yeah, this year I don't think it's as different. I think there's a little bit of a difference, but I don't think on either mode. And I like this about this game that the zones don't randomly jump places they're not supposed to jump. You can kind of read all 11 players. So when you see someone go one way, they're going to go that way.
except cover foot. Well, we get into defense later.
Yeah, we'll get into
Yeah,
defense.
I was gonna say that too.
Maybe I'm missing some. I don't know. I have no idea what you guys are about to talk about. But
I'll let Pop do it.
all right. Well, I have no idea what that means.
I think I know what he's gonna say. That's why.
But no, yeah, I really like it. I don't really like the game right now. I'm kind of getting bored, to be honest with you. I need someone to. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. Anyway, let's just move on. We're gonna talk about defense. And Pop apparently has this big thing about defense that I have no clue about. So, what's your thoughts on defense this year?
I did not say it was no big thing. Let's not exaggerate. I was just saying when you said that the defense when they move it look exactly what it is. Cover four. If you run cover four stock, it basically turns into men. And I think that's why the people who are complaining about the safeties getting beat or not being in place, that's why. Because if
Yep.
you run cover four stock, you don't change anything, you don't adjust nothing, it turns into men and it leaves open spots in the field. I left cover four alone altogether.
Yeah, so did I.
All right, adios, Juan. That's into you. So
No, I'm pretty sure he'll find some adjustments to go with it.
I've never uncovered. I was wondering why people were saying that about safeties. I was like, what do you guys? I never use it, so I had no idea when it was talking.
I'll use it to disguise because you can make it look like cover 2 really easy. So that would be like when I would use it to try and trick somebody because people run cover 2 so much, so then they would think, because it gives you that shell, like that pre-snap look of cover 2.
All right.
But that's why I would use it.
I wonder how many people actually notice the difference between cover 2, cover 3, cover 4.
I don't know. I'm probably giving people too much credit.
I think you are.
But yeah, so I like the defense a lot because it's not overpowered zones like it was last year. A flat isn't going to cover with 3 receivers at the same time. The usering is harder. I don't think it's hard. I think it's harder. I think it'd be harder for some people who never took their finger off a turbo. If you one of those
Right.
players, then yeah, it's gonna be hard for you. And I'm not saying it's like I'm some expert user myself, but I just know I don't run around with turbo and try to cover both sides of the field. I think so. The last before we recorded this, me and Mason played, and I noticed I couldn't stop the inside run. And it was scrimmaging, so I'm trying out things. He's trying out things. Something that I didn't pay attention to because it's a scrimmage is the substitutions, and your players get tired over the course of the game. And I'm like, oh, all right, that's why I'm not able to stop the run. I played Matt, and I don't know when you guys say scrimmage. I'm thinking you want to try certain things out. Like, I'm not solely playing just to win in the scrimmage. Like, that's not my sole idea in a scrimmage to do. And like
Right, same here.
Matt ran like 4 inside zones back to back to back to back. And I'm like, okay, like, all right. I get it. It works, so keep doing it. But definitely sub your guys out. Because if you don't, you're going to get destroyed. Unless you're getting 3 and outs, of course, then it doesn't matter. But, you're playing against the Wands, the Masons, uh, the Rails, the Prods, people,
Don't put
the
my name in there.
Elbows.
Why
No,
you put me in this boring ass list of people?
people that play real, dink and dunk, run a lot, use the whole clock. This is not an insult, by the way. It's just your game style. Definitely make sure you have some depth on your team, build depth on your team so you can sub people in and out. I'll give y'all a little tip, I guess I don't know if y'all gonna listen or care, but they have the not audible, I'm sorry, auto substitution sliders. And you can set it to whatever you want. So you don't have to manually sub guys out. So, have them come out when they 75%, come back in when they're, I don't know, 85, 90%. Stuff like that. It might avoid injuries, it might not, but it's definitely gonna keep your guy from being tired. And yeah, I think the zones are good. I like the hit stick animations. I like shit like that. Shit looks good.
Pride, you can go. What are your thoughts on defense?
Defense is still, I'm not sure yet. I don't think it's bad or anything, but I'm still kind of figuring things out to where I can like comment on whether I like it or don't like it. I mean, so far, I do like the fact that you can't run around like a chicken with his head cut off with a linebacker anymore. Like, I've found myself, it's been easier for me to throw at users that are kind of out of position. I've been doing that a little more. It's a little easier to throw over them. Like, it's been more, my interceptions have been more the CPU than me actually getting user lurked a ton. But so far I think they have it going in the right direction. Sometimes I would like the defensive end pass rush to be a little better. Maybe that's just me.
It's
I
just
can
you.
only I can only really get pressure from like blitzing. Like, my ends don't really get in a whole lot on their own. But I mean, that's just my thoughts on that, this early stages.
Oh, and I have noticed one thing on sim mode and comp mode on this year. In comp mode, you can still get those like dive and catch. You know how you used to like catch the interception and land on your back?
Yeah.
You can still do
Mm-hmm.
that in comp mode. I haven't seen that in sim mode yet, but I've seen some interceptions where I was like, "Whoa!"
Who have you been playing on comp mode?
Random people.
He's trying to
Oh,
figure. Yeah, it's a good idea. I mean, I did it the first day, tried to see some things, but it was.
Yeah, I just like to play. Like, if I play Mason, I'm gonna get used to playing Mason.
Yep.
right.
Sometimes, and a lot of times, I don't want to play people from the fringe because once we start the franchises, I don't play online no more. So I'm playing you guys all the time. So it's like, all right, I don't want to play you guys right now.
Makes
Oh,
sense. You're exactly right. By the way, I played comp, and there was like they were getting one-handed interceptions. I was like, "What the hell is this?" And I was like, "Is this how the game is gonna be like?" Because it was like a one-on-one jump ball the first day I'm playing it, and they just throw it up, and it was a one-handed pick, and I was like, okay. I haven't seen anything like that in sim mode. One thing I do like about sim mode is if you passing wise, the trajectory is very important this year. I think it's one of those things that Madden did where they added it last year, but then they really made it matter this year. And what I mean by that is, yeah, ball hawk is tuned down. I'll get to that in a minute. But when you're trying to throw it across the middle, if you just throw a bullet pass, they will occasionally just jump and intercept it like they should. But you can also do a high pass and it'll work a lot. And it all depends on angles and
Do you mean lob it or actually using like the high throw?
high throw. I never fucking lob it. Not in the middle of the field. I just use high
Oh,
throw because it happened to me. I think I was playing pop and I just tried to throw a bullet across the middle. And it also matters who your quarterback is because I was using Josh Allen and threw a bullet across the middle and it just got picked so easily. And I was like, shit. It was like the one time I forgot. And I was like, can't do that. But yeah, usering, I really like it. It makes you make a decision quicker, which actually works for me better on defense because I'm not my issue using last year was I would try to do the chicken with head cut off thing and I would be thinking too much about 3 different routes. As opposed to now on defense, I just pick one, go with it, cut it off, and then you gotta trust everybody else to do their job. Defensive line, you said you don't get pressure prod. It a lot of it depends on the O line to me. Because I played Pop a couple games. He had the Bears a lot, and that thing is pathetically bad. Like, they were getting eaten alive by nobodies. Jerry Hughes had like 3 sacks, but then it was this dude on the lines wearing 69. I don't even know who that dude was. He got 3 sacks, and I was like, good Lord. I wasn't even doing anything special. He was just swim move, goodbye.
The highest rated lineman on the Bears is 79.
See, that's going to be the problem. Talking about Juan, that's going to be the problem. I think offense.
I
And
played him. He ran pretty well last night in that little fantasy thing we did when I played him. He seemed to still have some run plays that was working for him.
it's not the fantasy part. I think a lot of it depends on the players. I think there's no spot on offense or defense that I've seen so far you can just hide people. There's not going to be a position where you can just be like, oh, this guy's a 60, this guy's an 80, but they play the same. Like cornerbacks, I've seen differences just from our fantasy leagues, especially from the fantasy league we've been in. Cornerbacks are huge this year. Safeties, they're big time. And linebackers even make a lot of plays in D line. All across the board, I think it's important. But defense, one thing I have noticed is I like how the hit stick, and I've done this a couple times. A lot of people still think it's going to do that cartoony slide 5 yards across. No, you do a hit stick and you miss, you just keep going right by that person.
Sure do.
Right. Yep.
Real silly.
Yep, and I like that a lot. I like. I'll tell you guys a few things that I've seen personally. I think they're going to be big. User blitzing is going to be huge. I've tried it occasionally, and it works pretty well just because of how the angles in the games are. And strip tackling, very good. No one's going to listen to that, but YouTube.
I've been meaning to ask you. Never mind. I'll ask you that. That's for dojo info. I'll keep that for off the podcast.
I mean, I already said it now, so you might as well ask the question.
Well, no, I was just going to ask, is that you doing the strip attempts or is that like you got the setting turned on for them to strip?
No, that's me.
Oh, okay.
That's why that keeps happening to you.
Because I was like, this dude's like like doing strip tackle attempts like every play. I was like, I wonder if it's him or if he has it turned on. So I was like, it's not calling face mask. That's why I was thinking like it's probably not the setting. Because when you do the setting, it's, you get like a bunch of face mask calls.
I also like the when they knock the ball out of the receiver's hands, like they actually knock the ball out of their hands. Like,
yes.
Right, yeah. You'll see them punch at it, you mean, or swipe at it.
Yeah, I like that.
That's the other thing I was going to bring up. I like how they took away possess and catching because if you do that in the wrong spot, you will never catch the ball anymore. Like, it's purely for – and I think a lot of it – I have to look into this more, but certain receivers do a lot better. I think you have to have the possession catch.
Yeah, you do. Yes, that's going back to what Prod was saying about the offensive line. You got to be rated well with what you're trying to do.
And I like it a lot. You'll see a lot of times if you do possession catch in the middle of the field, they used to just fall down. Now they just kind of take 2 really slow steps, waiting for somebody to just pop them. You're better off just catching the ball at that point because it happens pretty routinely. I like that a lot, actually, because I was a person who used to abuse it just because it was there. But I don't want like that to be used. I would rather just have like an actual game. that like you can't do that. And it clearly seems to have gone that route. But yeah, I think the other thing you're going to see is a lot more switching as soon as the ball's in the air. Once people get good at that, it's going to be very interesting because and I think some people have been doing it for a while. I'm just getting used to it. But because of how the game is and how angles work, if you look at the field and predict the throw, you're going to get a lot more pass breakups just by doing that.
Right.
The pass interference is toned up also.
I love that. I love the fact there's pass interference. They got me with one that kind of made me mad. I was going to get an interception, and I just touched him. I was like, crap, they're going to call that. And they call it every time.
Against me just now.
Yep. That was the one. Yeah, I think that's the one I'm thinking of. But you can't do that annoying thing. It seems like they really, on both ends of the field, what we're trying to say is they cleaned up all the glitches. Like, you can't just swerve in front of offensive players anymore. That's
yeah.
If you try to just swerve on offense, you're going to probably fumble the ball because you're going to run out of stamina and get knocked out. If you try to throw it away late with the quarterback, it's a fumble.
Yep.
It seems like everything comes with a consequence, which I enjoy. And would you guys say that either offense or defense is overpowered right now?
Nah.
Not at the moment, no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, except maybe your offensive scheme personally, but in general, no.
All right. Well,
But that's a scheme though, so it's not like his office. If you can find a way of stopping it, you can find a way of stopping it.
I'm gonna figure it out.
I think I was onto the right track on his last game. I think I was onto the right track. But he was playing with the Lions. Tell me the Lions ain't terrible, Mason.
No, they're pretty shitty. There's no question.
I didn't even want. If I would have beat you, I wouldn't even count it. I wouldn't count it that.
I saw the matchup and I was like, oh, that's the Lions. I was like, how the hell? LeGarrette Blount's nice. He's the one bigger back that I can kind of use because he's got that weird burst of speed thing going on.
Him and
Theo Riddick.
Fournette, they got that. Fournette is faster than him, though, but
I haven't tried Fournette yet. I remember I was trying to use Gurley, and I did not like it. I hated using Todd Gurley.
I didn't like him either for some reason when I was using him. I might just having a bad game, though.
I don't know. I was using him. I was like, I don't like any part of this. He's like, yo, you know who's a monster, though? Saquon Barkley. Oh, my goodness.
I haven't played him yet or used him.
Oh, I played against him. It was not fun at all. Have y'all played against Lamar Jackson yet?
No.
Oh, my fuck. Please go online. Play some games online, please. Oh, my God.
Is it that bad?
All right, so I know there's certain guys in Premier and franchises, period, because it was in Elite and other leagues also, where it's like one read, run out the pocket, wait for the zones to break down, right? That's what a lot of people do.
And playmaker.
Fucking, it's like run out of the pocket and go. It ain't run out of the pocket to get more time to make a pass. It's one read, that read ain't there, take off. And he's 90-something speed. So what spy you putting on him that can legit keep up with him?
Damn, that's a good point. Because of the angles and the way the game works.
Oh, my God. Yo.
Got a spy with like one of the sub linebackers or something. That's the only thing I can think of.
You got a spy with fucking the one-arm dude from Seattle. Shit is crazy.
I haven't wanted to use Lamar yet just because I don't know. I don't even want to know what it would be like because I'm never gonna use them. So I was like, I'm gonna just let that ride. I'm gonna just learn how to play everybody else, slow dudes and semi-fast dudes. But that's great to hear. So
just if Mason, I mean not Mason, if Rain don't injure him, which he might do, because then he injured his guys last year.
Oh, he's getting hurt. Oh, he just better not be hurt at the wrong time. He's getting hurt.
Yeah,
he's going to get hurt.
If he don't, y'all let him build that injury up. It's gonna be a problem over there in the AFC. I'm letting y'all know that right now.
Yeah, there's one problem in the AFC, but it's fine. It's no other problem.
Madden don't care about injury rating anyway. You could probably still take him out at 99.
I mean, honestly, if you're running around with your quarterback, I don't care what his rating is. He should be getting hurt if he's taking too many hits.
Yeah, that's true. But
Speaking of hits, I like the hit stick on defense. I've been using it a lot more than I have been. Like last year, I mostly used the low one, but this
There
year I
is no
primarily, yeah, exactly. So now it's just like forced to use the high one, and it's
I
actually
stay away
pretty
from this.
easy.
I'm scared of hit stick in this matter.
I use it when I know it's gonna, if it's close. Actually, I kind of use it to get people out of certain areas. So, like, if someone's running the ball, I'll just throw it in there and hope that they pick a different hole because I know I'm not going to tackle them. And so, like, if I see who's I playing? I was playing Apo with Saquon, and there was occasionally where I was like, all right, so if he goes here, he's going to juke me or just make me miss. So I'm going to just throw out a hit stick, hope he doesn't go there, and then make him go somewhere else. And the good thing about this game is you can kind of force people to go whichever way you want because of the angles. So it's really like you're not like on the runs. I think it's interesting on defense because you're not supposed to go for the tackle if you're a linebacker. You're supposed to kind of get him, or some back door or something to where everybody else is going to catch him. I like it. Everything you kind of got to think about everything to some degree. It's gonna be interesting to see how people build teams.
I think that's gonna be very important.
And we're gonna get to that in a minute. All right, so the last thing that we want to look at or talk about right now is how is the franchise mode, the first thoughts. I haven't touched it yet, so I'm going to go last on this as always. We're going to have Pop go first because Prod is our resident franchise guru or whatever. So, Pop, what are your thoughts on Pop, you go first with the thoughts on franchise and how you've seen things.
I like it, man. All right, so presentation I like. The coach sitting there in the background at the desk. I like the way that looks. I don't know how it looks if you're an owner. If it looks any different, I don't know.
It's the same.
Oh, it looks the same?
That's lame.
It just shows the coach of the team.
I like that. They kind of trimmed down the menu, which I like. It used to be annoying to me. I know it's a very small thing, but it would be like say if I just wanted to go to look at the stats, like you would have to go over like 4 or 5 screens just to get to the stats.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's just presentation. I like the way the skill points work. So for some people who haven't done it yet, it's no longer XP. Oh, all right. I'm gonna tie 2 things in. So let me take a step back. When you set up everything, which also is a part of your auto subs and all of that, you got to pick a scheme. And, they give you the options. Make sure you read it, man. Don't just look at Mason pick. Mason picks this kind of scheme and he winning the Super Bowl, so let me follow what he do. No, be your own person, man. So you pick which one fits your game style, offense and defense. And then they have a symbol. They have a purple symbol that tells you which players that's currently on your team fits your scheme. And I'm assuming if I look at Prod's team and because I want to make a trade, it's going to tell me which players on his team fit my scheme. I haven't checked that yet.
Yeah, that's correct. It works that way.
Awesome.
So, if you are Juan and you like to run, or better yet, forget Juan. Prod wants to get linemen that holds the edge, and he has a scheme for that. It's going to show him which lineman he should get. So, also, when you want to level your players up, like I said, there's no more XP. So, it's skill points. So, let's say I'm the Lions and I get a skill point with Ansar, however you pronounce his name. It's going to give you 3 options to use that skill point on. So it might say power move, it might say finesse move, and no, it might say power rush, speed rush, and then I don't know what the third thing
Probably
would be.
Run stopper, I
Run
believe.
stopper. There you go. And then there's a description on what that includes. So like the speed rusher is going to be finesse move, pursuit, and something else. The power, the run stopper, it'll be pursuit, play wreck, and block shed maybe or something like that. So when you use that skill point, it's gonna level up a random 3 from that selection. So it's not like you going to just use your XP to save your XP and use it on speed. You could save your skill points and use
Yeah, but
it
there's no
on
point really in
multiple.
saving them.
Yeah, it really is no point. So when you use that skill point, it might give your play rec +4, your speed +1, your tackle +3. It's not in your control though, which I like a lot. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pass it to you, bro.
Man, I was gonna explain all that shit, but that's pretty much. I mean, you pretty much got most of it in there. The only thing I would add to that is that also the people that, I mean, there's still XP in the game. It's just that you need a certain amount of XP, and then they'll get a skill point. And then also based on their development trait, depends how much XP they need to get a skill point. So somebody like I don't know, like Aaron Rodgers, for instance, even though he's old, he could still get a skill point, and then also he could still like potentially get more throw power. As crazy as that sounds, so I've had that happen. I did one on Josh Norman. I used a skill point on him, and he actually got a dot of speed on top of getting like some more man and zone coverage. So it's definitely really interesting how they do it. Oh, and the thing I didn't finish, the thought I didn't finish, is if they fit your scheme, they get more XP when you do the drills. So just a couple of little tips there. But I mean, you certainly can't just sit there and be like, I'm going to have 390 speed linebackers, or I want all my team on offense to have 98 speed, because it's just not going to work that way. My assumption, I didn't test it out far enough, is that maybe you can get a player like 2 or 3 speed points. I'm not sure. I know before I stopped looking at it, I had Geist to 92 speed. No, 91 speed. So
What's his
when you
stock speed?
think he's 89, so that was two he got. So yeah, I think with Geist, sorry, my mouth's dry as shit. With Geist, somebody like that and him having that quick development, he got a lot. His rookie year, I think I had him like he was 89 overall before I stopped messing with it. And I think he starts off at 78. So definitely focus training and all of that's going to be a huge difference. You're basically going to get to choose who the superstar is you want on your team. So that focus training is going to be an even bigger deal this year than like the last couple years. And
Great.
then, yeah.
Can't wait for 90 overall Lamar Jackson. Can't fucking wait for that.
But at least it won't be any more. I guess it might still be, but people moving plays around different positions, so you can get XP in certain groups and all of that. It's still gonna matter, like Prod said. You need the XP to get to a skill point, but at least it's different this time. Like you're not hoarding the XP to put it in one particular area. You holding it
Right.
now. If you're holding the XP, you're holding it to get more skill points.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know what that random role is going to be.
I have a question because I haven't touched it that much. Can you give someone a trait, or how do they obtain traits?
From what I've seen, there's no way to do that. I don't believe so. I think the developer even said that. Like,
You get
I
it
don't think,
through. You get it through your stats, pretty much, like how you play.
yeah. Even the development traits, I think they said are more dynamic this year. And like somebody can go up to being a superstar
Yeah,
and even go back down more often than they did before. I
and
didn't
that's
pay enough
that's why
attention
they.
to it.
I'm sorry, my bad.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say I didn't pay enough attention to it, but I did see Geis. He did go to superstar uh the end of the year. So
And that's why they took the slow development away.
right.
Interesting.
So yeah, you wanna what is it? You wanna force feed that rookie you drafted, go ahead, you get him a superstar. But like Prod said, you get a new rookie and you don't pay attention to that old rookie, you could go from superstar back down.
Yeah.
So the focus training, does it only work for one player now, or is it still three?
It's
No,
still
it's
three
still three.
players.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, also the same way there's a symbol for the scheme fit, there's a symbol that lets you know what player got a skill point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because until they earn the skill point, you can't upgrade them.
Mhm.
So it's like a one, it's like a blue one next to their name.
Yeah. And then if they do add up, which it had happened a couple of times, like the number will change to like 2 and 3 and so on.
So you better pay attention because it's not the old way no more. It's not. I got 1,100 skill points. Let me use it on something. It's not like that no more. So there's a chance that you might go a week or two without getting a skill point and not realize it.
And also check your backups because sometimes they'll have a skill point saved up and you won't know until you go in their card and look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had that happen a couple of
Yo,
times.
man, I hope y'all saying thank you to me and Prod.
Yeah,
We
that's
saved
enough.
a
That's
lot.
enough free tips, I think. That's
That's
like dojo exclusive info.
Something that I noticed after the games was it's like more valuable now that they show, because that used to annoy the shit out of me when the random XP would come up. You're like, I can deal with that later. But I think now they tell you when someone's getting a skill point. And I think
Yep.
that's way more
Mm-hmm.
valuable because like you
Yeah.
just want to get you just want to use that. You got three options. Pick one. It's not that hard.
Right.
There's no point in saving it. So that's actually like a helpful thing. I also agree with you guys. I like the way the menu looks. It looks a lot sleeker. I'm very interested in how the whole snapshot thing is going to work as the season goes on.
Explain.
There is a button on the mode because we've been in franchise constantly because we keep playing on sim mode, and I noticed it, and it's like a snapshot. And so they say that during the games they'll take pictures or videos or something, and you can like always go back to them by hitting triangle. So because I'm a narcissist, I'm gonna use the shit out of that whenever I play anybody, and figure out how to just get that up on my screen because I think it's a very cool thing. It's like a little thing, but all these little things,
Right.
kind of me, these details, they add up. You like seeing your fat coach just standing there for no reason, looking on the computer like something's going on, when really you're just kind of waiting for your opponent to play. All these interesting like little tidbits. I do like also, again, this is like a really small thing. Bottom of the screen is purely just things happening in your franchise now, and they tell
Right. Yeah. I think I noticed that.
Yeah, no more RG3 trying out for the Chargers or whatever they had.
that was there for a year, the whole fucking year. I would look down occasionally and see, oh, so annoying. But so yeah, I'm gonna be interested in how that happens. The development thing's very interesting. I want to see obviously how quickly that goes up and down, but I haven't really delved into it that much. I guess we can check the franchise we have and see who's going up and down right now, since we kind of skipped a few weeks. It's gonna be interesting. Is there any way to see? Do they tell you if the development's going up or down, Prod or Pop? Do you guys know that?
I didn't look into it like that. I didn't see any type of notification. I just happened to notice it when I was looking through the players.
Gotcha.
I think I would assume you just have to check your progression tab.
Yeah, the progression history probably would have that in there.
So, as a result, do you think that we'll see less super teams, more super teams this year? What are your guys' thoughts? Prod, I'll start with you.
I'm thinking we'll see less. I think you'll still see a couple OP players, even though you don't get to choose their individual ratings. But just the fact that I had Geis at that overall by the end of the year, and I didn't even mess with the XP or anything. And he was already that good. I'm guessing you'll see maybe individual stars, but I don't think we'll see like a Rain or like a Juan type team unless it's just stuff that I don't know about. But if it's in there, I'll figure it out.
Thanks. Thank you, Prod. Pop.
Super team. I don't know. Because the extra attributes, I think it's gonna be a little more difficult. Like you're not gonna have. I don't know. I think it might be harder to get that 99 overall, or let me not say 99. That 90 overall lineman or 90 overall linebacker. Because that when I think of super team, that's what I think of. I feel like
You
it's
know what it
easy to get
is?
the
Oh,
wide
sorry, I didn't mean to cut
receiver
you.
up, the quarterback up. I feel like those are always easy to do. But those are the user positions. So you can be 99 overall if you want. If you make bad decisions, it don't make a difference. But
Right.
when the computer's controlling that D line and the linebackers and the O line and they 90 plus, that's what make it overpowered. I don't know if it's gonna be as easy to get a your whole offensive line and defensive line 90. But then again, I don't know. I don't know what happens when you win the Super Bowl. How much XP they gonna give you? I don't. It's too early to tell. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And just to piggyback off something he said about the user players, like you know how before, like say somebody would have a linebacker and they know they're going to user him, so they just raise his physical attributes. So they'll just make him only fast and stuff like that. Maybe like raise his jump like 1 dot or something stupid. The reason why the developers did this is so you couldn't do that. Because really, in essence, like some people, because they don't raise their awareness or play recognition because they're usering, they would have a 99 overall player, but they look like they're like 78 overall or like 80,
Right.
like a quarterback, for instance. Like, well, other than Mason, like a lot of people wouldn't raise their aware; they would just raise everything else on them, like the throwing stats and the speed, and then the
Mm-hmm.
QB's like 83 overall, but really they're like a superstar. So, like a big part of the reason they did the archetype points like this is so that people develop more balance. Because you'll see, like you'll use a skill point, and they'll get like 3 aware, and you're like, man, I don't
Yep.
really need that, but I can see why they did it. You know?
And you know what else that prevents you from underpaying that player? Because a lot of
Yep.
people did that too, so they could avoid that big payout.
That is a very good point.
Yep.
I think I hope what you're gonna see is because of these different styles and schemes. I hope that you see a lot of teams that are built completely differently. And again, this is kind of how the game works to me. I think you can kind of play any style and be successful if you're talented enough. And so I think that works as well with teams. I think you can build a team that's just built on your offensive line. I think you can build a team that's built on your wide receivers. I think you can really go about it any way you want and be successful, which is going to keep people, as we talked about in the last podcast, I think they're going to be much more engaged to it consistently because you can go into a season and be like, all right, this is my plan. I'm going to get this player up. I'm going to get this player up. I'm going to get this position up, or this is what I'm going to try to do. Because your scheme can change every year, and I think that's very interesting as well. Can you change your scheme in the season?
Yep.
Yeah, you can change it whenever, as many times as you want, from what I can see.
Interesting. I kind of prefer it to be the same all season, but
That would make sense. I think that's probably something to mention to like the developers on Twitter or something.
I
Because I
don't.
was thinking that too. Because like, why can you like teams don't just switch from a 3-4 to a 4-3 like constantly or hybrid and all that shit like that quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Usually you install a defense in the off season and throughout training camp, and then that's what you're doing for that year. But in the game, yeah, you can just kind of flip flop. But I mean, I'll give them a pass on that one.
But you gotta remember from the little bit that I encountered, let's say you do a 4-3 scheme, and majority of the time your linebackers in a 4-3 is built for coverage.
Oh yeah,
Now,
that's true. Yeah, your puzzle
now,
pieces won't fit once you
now,
switch.
yeah. So now, if you switch it to a 3-4, and you need those outside linebackers to rush the quarterback, they're not going to have those attributes because you wasn't building it up that way. So yeah, you can switch it however you want, but that don't mean your guys is going to have the attributes to work in that system because you got cover 2 linebackers. Now you telling them to go rush the quarterback.
Do their overalls go? But you can also play whatever defense you want. Do their overalls go up and down depending on the
I
system?
think it did last year though.
Yeah,
That's true.
So I would assume it still does.
Interesting. Oh, I guess we should talk about the whole. Should we talk about the certain player that you can use a linebacker now, or should we just leave that out?
I guess we could save that.
We'll table that. I'll delete that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be really fun this year. Hopefully, I think it's definitely going to go a long time. I don't think you'll see as many. I don't think it's going to be possible to get 90s everywhere unless you have an older roster. Even if you draft all the players, like we're talking about, you're going to have different kind of linebackers, different kind of players that you'll want. And everyone won't be able to do everything. So,
Right.
I think it's gonna be a very good year. Hopefully we need 2 more people for this fucking tournament, and I don't understand it. It's kind of irritating me. I'm about to just start.
Yeah, I thought that was a slam dunk. I thought that was going to be easy.
Well, Pop refuses to join, so there's one problem.
Well, at least he has a legit reason. I mean, I can get his logic at least. Other people were just like, just being inactive.
You didn't tag them. Regan just ignored me. That's got flat out ignored.
Damn, what you taking the league from him? Who do you think you are?
I'm not taking the league. No one's taking the league. I'm bored.
All right, so since we done with the topic, right? I have a question for you, Mason. Probably I'm gonna give you a quick rundown.
God,
I don't want this to take too long. I want Mason to do the talking. So last year in a different league, Mason came in the room and he was asking a hypothetical. I did use quotations, by the way. Y'all can't see it. Hypothetical question about should he tell his correct me if I'm wrong because this is last year. If he should tell his roommate that he slept with his girlfriend.
Is this the same chick you showed me the picture of, Mason?
Oh my God.
So I'm gonna stop talking and I'm gonna let Mason. Because you never gave us an update. I was on my way to the bar to drink, and I gave you sound advice, and then I gave you drunk advice. So I don't know what happened after that. Come on, man.
All right. All right. First off, wasn't my roommate. Gonna clarify that right now.
That was your best friend.
It was not my best friend. This caught me so off guard. You gotta give me a few seconds to think here. Secondly, wasn't his girlfriend. Was his ex-girlfriend.
Oh yes, they just broke up.
That's like, I mean, just as bad, damn it.
Yeah, he thought he was out of the water with that one.
If God had just shut the hell up, I would have been fine.
No, you wouldn't have been fine.
Pop was slowly letting me slide with it.
No, but
Hey, just break up. Broke up like a couple months ago.
To make a long story less long, what?
I need to tell people.
I got 3 questions. Did you have sex with her? Did you tell him? And did you have sex with her more than once?
Yes, no. There you go.
What was
well, at
response?
least you stopped after.
What was his response? Did he say meet me at McDonald's?
He said I'm gonna come into bars. Nah, he was just like, okay, I'm not talking to you anymore. I was like, that's fine. It was one of the I don't explain.
So was that something that like he wasn't over it though?
It just
Oh, no, he was
happened, bro.
pissed. It didn't just happen. It happened like in October, a whole year ago.
But I mean, was it
No,
on
no,
his end
no.
or?
When they broke up and you had sex with her, it wasn't that far apart.
Yeah, that's happened to me. I don't mean,
That's a
it doesn't really matter. I don't look, man.
piece of shit, Mason. And LeVon, this is why I root for you, baby. This is why you're a good man at heart.
Oh my god.
You can't let the I don't even know what to call him. You can't let him win a division. You can't let him do it. He's gonna sleep with your ex-girlfriend.
I'm about to
Don't break up with your girlfriends, guys. That's the moral of the story.
All right. So in my defense, I guess this isn't gonna help. I'm just gonna say it. So this is the same person who a week before, 2 weeks before, not 2 weeks before, 3 weeks, a couple weeks before, I don't remember the exact time. It was more than a week. He came to my house drunk. I hadn't talked to him in a while. And he was like, yo, I think I'm in love with a different girl. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm just like, first off, love, fuck that. Secondly, he was talking about, yeah, he's like, oh no, I just vibe with her really well. And I'm like, weren't you just dating her? He's like, yeah, but I cheat on her all the time. So I'm like, okay. At that point, I mentally just didn't care anymore. So there you go. If you must know, since Pop just came out of nowhere for some reason, didn't tell me he was going to ask me that at all.
All right, I'm gonna start being cryptic. Mason slept with Brandon's ex-girlfriend, guys.
It was not, bro.
That's why.
Brandon.
Sorry, Brandon.
What's wrong? What's wrong with you? Why would you? Oh,
Listen, I gotta give the truth.
it was definitely down.
I don't
Brandon's on the
I
other
don't like to be towing around the truth.
Brandon's on the other side of the country. No, I didn't.
Yeah, because he ain't your friend no more. You love. I would go to the other side of the country too. It's fucked up. Bro, keep him away from your girl, man.
Oh my god.
Oh shit, my face hurts.